Okay, we've got a lot of data to work through, and it's going to seem a little bit jumbled, but we'll bring it all together by the end. This first slide that we're looking at, this first chart, really shines a light on just how much we've got population growth outweighing the fact that we just don't have enough housing starts going on. That becomes problematic when we start to understand that when we look at how much residential investment is a part of our economy, and things are slowing down, it becomes problematic. Now, a lot of jobs are created in the construction industry, and this is part of the, I guess, the headwinds that we're facing. So when we look at just how much housing and construction and those construction jobs matter to us, when we start to see that slowdown, we can expect an uptick, in fact, of construction jobs. Now, there's something that we have to add to that, is that as much as we can see construction jobs slow down, and I suspect we will, we have to understand it's not the only thing, the only jobs that exist within the construction industry, within the housing industry. So as much as they're building condos or they're building houses or they're building apartment buildings and things have slowed down, I expect the construction industry to lose some jobs, and actually by the data they have. But that's not to say that the whole industry is shutting down. All of those administration jobs, those legal jobs, the jobs of supporting realtors, for example. Mortgage brokers have slowed down, so their teams are getting smaller. So there's different effects within the construction or the housing industry. Construction is just one part of it, and it's the one thing that we will notice in an uptick of unemployment as we go forward. So we've got some notes that we have to cover overall when it comes to employment, when it comes to the construction jobs. This is one part of employment or unemployment. When we start to see the housing industry slow down, of course, it has a ripple effect right across the market. So wherever you are regionally, one of the things that you need to look at is what's happening in the construction industry. How are housing starts? Are they actually building in your region? And not all regions are building. So this is for you to look at the research and take it on. So hopefully you start to understand that what we need is jobs, and the construction industry is slowing down because housing is in fact slowing down. And we see that in the data.
I want a good job, I want a job, I want a job that pays.
So this chart is one of those things where we're comparing to other countries, which I'm not particularly a fan of, but it does give us some form of a benchmark. But when we look at our GDP growth per capita, we are not up to the levels of others. We have historically been below, but we're actually trending further below in terms of a benchmark. So we have to consider that Canada's economy continues to soften. The debate still remains. Are we in a recession or not in a recession? I'll get to the GDP numbers in just a minute, but ultimately we look at a slowing economy, which for us as investors, we have to consider all of the data together. Otherwise, we're going to be looking at those headlines and getting shut down, thinking the world is coming to an end. It's not, but there's going to be some bumpy roads in 2024, as we can start to see here. When we get into the next part of, and the next slide of all of this, one of the indicators that you're going to start to see a lot of is in unemployment. Now, we've got a lot of people coming into this country, continuing to come into this country. And by the way, it's a big part of what's driving our economy. The challenge that we're going to face and continue to face is the fact that there just isn't enough jobs for the number of people moving into this particular country and into the different provinces. So that's going to be problematic. And this is something, a side note, as investors, when we are looking at the lineup of potential clients / tenants that we're looking for, it's going to be incredibly important to screen those tenants for the jobs that they have, the longevity of those jobs that they have. Our screening is going to be critical, given the fact that unemployment, you're going to start to see it uptick based on the fact that we've got a lot of people moving in. We don't have jobs for those people right now. And by the way, as I said earlier, construction industry is slowing down. Housing industry is in fact slowing down in terms of building. So we have to pay attention to that. We'll keep you up to date. If you like what you learned here, go to the description below and subscribe for our free Insiders newsletter, where you can also stay up to date for our upcoming events and our courses.